Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Earhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while. I met Craig, like 7 months ago now. So we finally got a chance to record, so I'm excited. This is Craig Whitney. He does awesome things, and I can't wait for him to tell you all about it. So, Craig, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Well, I'm Australian, if you can tell by my accent. I'm based here in Brizzy. I'm a full-time courier, so FedEx type style life. And my passion is I help men give themselves a second chance, bring them home to themselves, to
I
overcome
love that.
themselves, find their voice, their heart, and their power.
Incredible. And what got you started on this journey?
What got me started? So 7 years ago, I went through an awakening where I was pretty much given a choice. So I was criminally charged, 3 charges to my name. I walked the line of shame, publicly shamed and prosecuted. Um, to this day, I accept everything that I did. What I did was wrong, and I take full ownership of that. Pretty much put through the media, shamed, lost everything, the life I'd built, the career I'd built, the job I had, my reputation. However, as time would soon tell, it was an awakening. Something had to happen for this to happen because my life was crashing. I was burning out. I burnt out. I acted out in anger, took my anger out on my loved ones, and paid the price, consequence. And the story goes with research is we attack the ones we love because we love them. They're the first ones we attack, and I've paid the price. So, and I've accepted that. And that's what awoken me. And of course, it wasn't an easy walkthrough. I went through a lot of public scrutiny, a suicide attempt, which failed, and a lot of rehabilitation to bring me back to some sort of mental state. And of course, a lot of support, which I'm very
And
much.
I feel like a lot of us go through something where we have to rebuild ourselves. A lot of times, the bad thing that we go through is one of the darkest times in our life. But if we focus on wanting to change, because you have to want to change. I see it all the time where people, they say they want to change, but then they don't take actions to make that change. And you definitely took the actions to make the change. So in your journey, what were the first few things that you changed about yourself to get you on a better path?
So the first 2 things I changed about myself. One is I worked out what a second chance was. I clear had a clear definition of what a second chance was, and it came home to me that I was given a second chance on a day-to-day basis by default. It was up to me to do the inner work to earn it, earn that second chance, because it was given to me. I had to do the work to receive it. And a lot of the spiritual teachings talk about redemption and resilience. I define the second chance as something as, some of us have to go through some stuff in order to have that awakening of redemption. And this is where resilience kicks in. We have a choice. I had a choice. I could either give up, accept my fate, give up, and just disappear. Or I could take that stand and go, no, I'm not going to just disappear. I'm going to actually repair my life and overcome and resist, accept full responsibility of my actions, of course, seek the help that I need and grow and heal. I can't change what's done. What's done is done. However, I can change my future. I can alter my path.
Yep. And for a lot of us, just the part of reaching out for help is the part that holds us back. We're too scared, or we have these thoughts in our head that aren't true. For the listeners who know that they need to change, they know they need help, what's your advice for finally reaching out?
The first question is do I want to change? Is that acknowledgement? Do I really want to change? Have I gone through this situation badly enough to want to change? If I'm at my rock bottom, or if I've met my rock bottom and I'm not in some sort of position to change, some sort of hunger, some sort of burn, then what is it that I need to go through even further to want some sort of change in my life? Because there's a lot of
And
people out there who don't want to change, who are flying blind. And that comes with some sort of conditioning too of our culture, because we're no longer taught the skills of self awareness. We're taught the skills of just survive and get on with it, our life, and fly blind.
yep, exactly. And when we can finally realize that we need to change, and then create create our why as to why we want to change. What's the future that we want? That's when you can really start to make the shift and start to have a goal for the life that you want. Mhm.
Yeah. So state your outcome.
And I know that you have a Facebook community. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you do with it?
So the Resilient Man Project. So initially, that started as a storyboard back in March 2020 as something to share my story, and that's really all it aimed to really go, and it's evolved over time. So it's a support group for men and women alike, free support group where we come in and we just help each other. We support one another to grow and ascend. Ascension is part of my mission. So if anything is I'm very passionate about on community. A rising tide lifts all ships.
Exactly.
Ships are built to leave the harbour. Staying in the harbour is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. We are community. We're not built to be safe and comfortable. We are built to grow and to go through the discomfort of growth and resilience and rise and help one another rise as a community. Something that goes way back in our history. We band together as communities, and together as communities is what's been so lost in modern society. Technology has come along, and of course, it's had its advantages. However, it's disconnected humanity from its community roots. Gone are the days of sitting at the dinner table as a family and enjoying a meal together, being connected without a smartphone attached to us. Or gone are the days of sitting around a campfire and building that community connection. Gone are the days of neighbours coming together in the streets and having a community festival. It's all about community. So the Resilient Man Project, it's all about community. I always come back to the rising tide lifts all ships. Lone wolves die a terrible death. Part of my breakdown was because I was a lone wolf. I isolated. I took the male habit of going through something, not knowing what to do, isolating myself from the rest of society, and then feeding myself on unhealthy habits, substances, anything to fill the ego, even personal development. I was feeding my ego and personal development. It was like putting a band-aid on a bleeding artery. It was just going nowhere. There was going to be a head moment. Then it happened. So back to the question of community, it's all about building community. We are tribal creatures by heart. Without community, it's like, yeah, it removes the heartbeat out of us as a culture. We cannot thrive, or we find it very difficult to thrive.
Yeah, it's all about helping each other grow and get to that next chapter in our life. You know, our community is huge, a, a part of a lot of them, and they all have their different purposes. I have some for business, I have my friends, I have my family, but they're all for the same reason. It's to help me and help me help others get to that next level and support each other. So
Of course.
I love that you provide that for your community. It's very powerful.
And I go one deeper as part of my mission of community. It's a brotherhood of where we can support each other grow. So it's not one of these subscription based communities where, you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or tens of thousands of dollars a month to be part of a community to get the support that one's after. Okay. We break that stigma down and go, well, we're a community where we help and support one another, regardless of price, regardless of dollars. I just want to build a community of leaders, of men, of women, of people who we can band together and support each other grow. Yes, there are programs that do require investment, but that's not the intention. The intention is brotherhood. The intention is community. The intention is family. If a man has no money, that does not make a difference. That does not make him less
Yeah, I
entitled
agree.
to support to the brotherhood. I'll still give a man a hug if he's crying out for support, if he has no money, just as much as I would if a man did have money. It's all about the heartbeat. It's all about the support.
Yep, it is. And I know that you're relaunching your podcast. So can you tell us the name of it and what it's about?
So I'm relaunching my podcast. It's called The Legacy Forge. So I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, and it's all been part of my whole messaging and rebranding as I've pivoted from post COVID. When I had vision, when I sat down and I visualized what I wanted, three things come to mind. One was obviously my phoenix, my branding, rising from the ashes, overcoming. Two was legacy. I have a legacy. Every man who is put on this earth, who is walking this earth, has a legacy in him. He may not have defined that yet, but he has a legacy to serve. And that legacy goes beyond just providing, just surviving. It may be digging deeper within his bones for something that's more by design over by default. And the third thing that come to my mind was the forge of metal. And what comes with that is forging a blade, that hot molten steel that's going in to be forged as that next blade. And that represents the forge of our life as men, that what makes us. So if we put the legacy forge together, we put those elements together, we have a podcast or a medium that talks to men about their legacies. And we go deeper to the off planet legacy of what they want from not just a personal level, but to a community level and to a greater good level.
Awesome. Well, your podcast is going to be incredible. I can't wait to listen to it myself. And for all the listeners out there, his podcast will be live by the time you hear this recording. So make sure you go check it out. And then, Craig, can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Where you can find me? Well, I primarily hang out on Facebook. Just find me, Craig Whitney. I'm fairly active on my personal profile. Join my group, the Resilient Man's Project. I jump in there, get some free content, some free value, meet some people, connect, network, share. And my Instagram is number 2 second, 2ND man, Chance Man 2020. I'm reasonably active on my Instagram as well. It's more so for my physical health and accountability there that I post a lot of content on that side.
Awesome, awesome. And I gotta ask you, so as you know, my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to me? It means to me our life, our time here is finite. However, our skills are infinite. We have a second chance. We have a chance to forge our abilities and build the life that we want and forge the legacy we desire as fellow men, and to impact not only ourselves, but our loved ones, and become greater role models for everyone around us. Because modeling is the way it makes behavior and it also breaks behavior. But our abilities are infinite to the power of becoming better leaders and role models.
You hit the nail on the head with that one. So thank you for that.
It's all right. You're welcome.
And then for our listeners, do you have any last words of wisdom?
Any last words of wisdom? Yeah, I do actually. Take your second chance every day. Do the work that's needed, whatever that is for you. Encourage, build community. This is not about fixing men. This is not about being a therapist for each other. It's about helping each other ascend. Think of ascension. What comes alive when that term comes? For me, it's ascending growth, like a plane as it slowly takes off, ascends into the sky. We're not here to fix one another. We all have our stuff, our issues, our challenges. However, that's the part of growth. These symptoms, they're all part of growth. We can't grow unless we have difficulties and struggle. Comes back to the forgery. That knife or that blade can't be molded without hard work, effort, and struggle, sweat, persistence, resistance. If you watch the documentaries on how katana blades and that are forged, it's amazing. From this pile of molten steel, how it's forged by hand, the countless effort, the countless persistence that goes into making these katana blades to absolute perfection, the resistance and the relentless pursuit to create such a work of art that we can apply to our own lives, forging our own life, become the forge for ourselves and the forge for others, help others, impact others to grow. Modeling. I'm very passionate about role modeling. Become the model that you aspire to be. Take on someone you look up to, their values, and model that. And that way we can create the next level planet, the next level you, a greater community, more connected, love.
Exactly. Well, Craig, this was really great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Okay?
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in it, the Nick Your Heart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember your abilities are infinite.